Hello, hello, and welcome along to the third episode of In the Darkness Lurks. James is running a little bit late today, which is why you see this lovely elf in his place. Honestly, I think that's an improvement on most people. So I might just keep it like that. Today, I have playing with me Bruno.
Hello, I am playing Zoroaster, your Eladrin paladin, who still doesn't have an oath.
I have Agen.
Hello, I play as Gera Kenrock, Orc Moon Druid.
I have Duff.
I'm playing the Changeling Bard of Eloquence. Yum.
And I have Josh.
Hi, I'm Josh. I will be playing Sky Silveron, who is a Winter Eladrin Elf and Aberrant Mind Sorcerer.
Indeed. Last session, we... Thank you very much. They are the best emotes, I will give it that. I've completely forgotten to turn the sounds of the notifications off, so that made me jump out my skin. Last session, we managed to escape the drow prison of Velkenveldt, at least for now. And at a fork in the road, we decided to take the smaller path, a narrower path, a path that is not very tall, that we had to crawl and stumble down with difficulty. In doing so, we left behind one of our members. Not one of our players, but one of our NPCs, Shushar the Awakened, the Kuatoa, who declared himself a pacifist. He decided that he was going to take the other path, and he was going to go it alone, and he hoped that he might lead them off of your trail. As you progressed down the dark, narrow path, it might be mentioned that you were also carrying Vela. Vela had been rather injured by a drow snake whip, and lots of her body was numb, and she didn't come to consciousness. Though you temporarily prevented the poison from getting any worse using lay on hands, I think. We then, a little further down the path, found Nemea, the Tabaxi, that's not right, Tiefling wizard who teleported as soon as her magic shackles were off, and in fact caused a distraction to allow you to escape. But you found her knee-deep in rock, as her teleportation had taken her to a path too small to accommodate her. And in fact, it fell to Sarith Kazekrit, to chop her legs off at the knee. Just above the knee, in fact, preventing her from being stuck there, but quite possibly causing her death. We used acid to cauterize the wound and assist in the cutting, which is probably a terrible idea, but we did it anyway. And if she dies, she dies. And we'll see what happens. As soon as she was freed, she attempted to cast her Dimension Door spell again, but Sarith quickly ended that by punching her in the face. At this point, we broke on into a larger area, and we managed to take stock of where we were. And Prince Derendil arrived late behind us, carrying a bag of weapons. And as we doled these weapons out and took stock of the rations we had and the water we had. Thus far, we've been carrying a light. That's correct, is it not? Garrig? We've been carrying a flame, is that right?
Yes, I would believe the spell is produce flame, yes.
Okay. But as you get into these wilder tunnels, with your knowledge, you quickly realize that such light could be a beacon to all those about you. You're currently in a fairly wide tunnel. It is descending minorly. It's still only sort of 4.5, 5 foot in height, so it's quite uncomfortable to traverse. But down where it descends to, you do see signs that it will, that it'll get a little deeper, and you'll be able to stand with ease further down. Nevertheless, at this particular moment, do we keep the light on?
Now, am I in the back or the front?
You are currently leading, I believe. You shuffled backwards to acidify somebody's legs, and then shuffled back forwards to... It was yourself and Eldeth in the lead. I believe that Zoroaster with Vela was probably quite far to the back. Sarith is bringing up the rear with Nemea over his shoulder. Those carrying the wounded have been mostly at the back.
And does it look like it would take long for us to be at a path where we could stand up?
You think perhaps an hour. You can see the path it is getting wider, but or deeper, I suppose, but only very, very gradually.
Gary is gonna tell everyone that he's gonna turn off the lights.
Okay. Do you guys want to make any arrangements for keeping in contact with each other before doing so?
Like a rope?
I don't know. Do you have a rope?
Yes, I do.
A rope long enough to pass to more than one other person?
No, I don't.
I know you have a 5-foot rope, but
These are broken chains, maybe. I don't know. Can those work?
or even just grabbing the rags of those people in front of you. Do you want to just maintain physical contact? Is that how we're going to go about?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Maintain physical contact.
Okay. As the lights go out, it's hard not to be frightened in this moment. Being able to see nothing, to the point you can't see your hand right in front of your face. There is no light down here. I need each of you to give me a wisdom save, please.
I got a 14.
Okay.
I also got a 14.
Okay.
5.
5. That's good. 2 14s, a 5,
Don't be
and...
creepy, James. You're already scaring me.
2 14s, a 5, and... Who am I missing?
I've got a 6.
I've got a 6. Oh, a 5 and a 6. I like that. That's lovely. Okay. Let's have a little look. Bruno, go ahead and roll me a... Hold on.
Oh, why me?
Because I love you so dearly.
Stop picking on me. Gods in the
because it's
heavens.
fun. Yeah, sorry, I'm having to pull up the other file. Where is it? There we go, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, Bruno, go ahead and roll me a D100. Darth, you may do the same.
I got a 30.
Okay.
Got an 8.
Paralyzed by fear, Yum. You retreat into your mind. Give me a D10.
Six.
For the next 6 minutes, unless somebody is willing to carry you, you will stand stock still in fear and paralysis, terrified of what's going to happen. Zoroaster,
30.
roll me a D4.
Oh, acorns. A D4.
That's right, you're trying to decide whether to laugh or cry.
2.
Or neither. That's a scream. Zoroaster lets out a sort of... It's not even a sort of terrified scream. It's just a sort of... the fear just builds up and he just lets it... I mean, don't know. Zoroaster, explain to me what sound of fear, terror, or perhaps frustration or anxiety you might let out.
I think he'll start like shaking in his arms and in his legs and stopping to crawl. And he'll look over at Sky with like eyes widened and just ah!
And as you do so, you hear a strange noise scuttling across the ground around you. As it moves.
Sorry. We can't see each other, right?
You can't see your own hand, let alone your...
Yeah, so I can't like telepathically speak to him.
Yes, you can. Part of... I will say that you can initiate telepathic contact with Zoroaster without being able to see him.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll just say to him in his head, "What's wrong? Why are you screaming?"
Can you give me a persuasion check, please, Sky, to see if you can break through? Otherwise, he's just going to ignore you, I'm afraid.
At 20.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
perfect. Fantastic. Okay, so the scream sort of lets out immediately. And that's not great, because you can all now hear this scuttering and heavy steps coming towards you. But you actually said something, Sky, didn't you? Sorry. Do you want to repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, I said, what's wrong? Why are you screaming?
I guess I'll describe what you're about to tell us, James.
The stomping and the scuttling, or just the
What
sheer...
I hear in my head. What I hear in my head.
Yeah, so it's just the sheer sort of weight of the silence and the darkness and the build-up of the fear of what could be around you. I mean, for goodness sake, Zoroaster's having to walk with his head bent over so he doesn't walk into the ceiling. You know, all of that is stacking up. He's got some halfling who's losing her shit over his shoulder. Somebody's holding
Probably
on to
about
his...
to have Yum on his other shoulder.
Yeah, somebody's holding on to the back of his cloak, probably, or whatever he's wearing, so as to not lose him. But he doesn't even know if he fully trusts that person. His hand in front of him is obviously on you, Sky.
So,
vice versa,
obviously,
I don't know which way, but Zoro has to be in front of Sky.
Probably in front,
Okay,
yeah. So I'll relay all of that very fastly, and then I'll start repeating my mantra, which is the moon, the stars, the moon and 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 the stars.
Multi-classing.
No.
Into two separate druid subclasses. No, I'm kidding.
We could go into a Zoroaster flashback as to why that's his mantra. Flashback.
Or we could
No.
not, because the heavy steps get closer and closer. And in a panic, Eldeth lights up the room. As you look around, there's nothing.
We've been
Look
tricked.
at all.
Has the walk come to a standstill then because Yum's
As soon
not
as
moving?
Eldeth lit the... Well, yes, also, nobody has picked up Yum yet, so you all held for a moment. I think it's a chain reaction slowdown, right? Garrick turned out the lights and Zoroaster screamed, so everyone stopped. Zoroaster stopped screaming, and then you could hear these steps, and there was only a little bit of hesitant movement before Yum sort of held up the line without moving, and you all again stopped. You look to Eldeth, and she's standing there, her hand up with a light. It's almost blinding in this darkness. And she sort of, sorry, I panicked. I could hear something getting close, but I guess not. Sareth just sort of smiles and laughs, and don't worry. I'll tell you if you're going to die. He can see in the dark. But he's at the back of the door.
Can we see that Yum is scared? I suppose that's a question to Dark.
You can currently see that. You can currently see Yum with the light. I don't know what Yum currently looks like. That's up to Dark.
Can I ascertain if this might be some sort of like mental disease or maybe a poison that somehow she contracted?
Well, what does Yum look like? Let's find that one out first.
Yum kind of has expression of she's seen something terrifying and she's got like a look on her face as her fingers are just bent close to her face, unmoving. Despite the fully white eyes, you can see pure terror in her eyes.
Yeah, with your passive insight, Zoroaster, you would realize that this is a fear-based madness much akin to that which led you to scream. There's no medical reason for the fear, in the same way that Eldith lit up the light.
Well, then I only have one solution for this, which is picking her up, putting her on my shoulder.
Well, you could try and go back and pick her up while you've got Valor over your shoulder and whatever, but you do realize that it may come to pass. Also, she is surrounded by people who are larger. I think perhaps the one person who shouldn't carry her is the person with Valor on his shoulder. But
Always ready to help.
No, of course. But in this moment, sort of, the light Yum quells your fears a little bit. But then Eldeth sort of, well, I'm sorry, but I suppose I need to turn it off again. Right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And she just lets the light go. And immediately, you begin to hear that stepping and the scuttling. And you just hear very quietly, "Oh shit, I don't like this. Stay together, guys." And Topsy mutters very quietly, "Not the only one that can see in the dark. I see nothing close. But in the Underdark, beasts hide well. They can hide their heat as easily as they can hide their light. We may be as blind as the rest of you. Come. Move on forward."
I'm not quite sure I like these sound effects.
The sound feels constantly like it's coming closer. But
Yeah, it's not great if you have headphones.
yeah, well, we should all have headphones. And as you sort of begin to lead them down, Garrick, go ahead and give me a survival check, and then explain to me the pace at which you'd like to move.
So survival check first, then pace.
Yeah.
19.
19. So with a 19 survival check, you're able to pretty much ascertain exactly where to go. You can remember where you were. You've got that all sort of fixed in your mind. And is it fair to say you're barefoot in this moment? I think you are, right? Because you've got like claw-like toes things going on. You said.
Yeah, I'm very hairy. I have like hairy toes and all. Yeah.
So as your sort of feet grip the ground, you're able to find your footing very easily with that grip. And as you begin to move forward, are you taking people quickly towards the area of larger tunneling, or are you taking the slow and steady approach?
This is already the fast route that we're taking. And going faster might mean we get screwed over more. And that wouldn't help if we do. So I think in this case, normal would probably be fine.
Okay. Yeah, as you're doing so, you hear one of your companions drop something to the ground, a small pot. You hear shit, damn. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Ront has dropped something, but you're not sure what. I remember him having a jar with him.
What's that?
I'm an idiot. Don't worry. I dropped something. Nothing important. I think it was something to eat. I took it from one of the shelves on the way through. Keep going. Something's close to me. I feel it.
What was it?
I don't know. It was a jar of some sort of sauce, I think, or I don't know. It was something the drow were eating.
I've recently come to retain some new powers, one of which is a spell called Zone of Truth. Shall we utilize it, or are you willing to tell Garrick the truth?
Well, go ahead and give me an insight check, Zarasa. See whether you think he truly is lying. He repeats over and over again, sort of, it's not that he doesn't know
15.
he dropped a ceramic pot, right? He just doesn't know what it contained. And he sort of, I'm telling the truth. It's just, it smelled nice. I think it was for putting on that strange mushroom textured stuff they've got. And Zarasa, you think he's telling the truth. It was just a strange flavor.
Garrick, I think he's not lying.
Doesn't matter either way. Just continue.
I'll look at it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And
That was it.
yeah, sorry, go on, Zarasa.
I'll look at the suspect and say, yeah, you're cleared of all charges. No harm, no foul, I guess. And I'll start
You
crawling back
think
over.
you're looking in his direction, but you're not really sure.
Oh, good, buddy. Wherever you are.
Can I smell whatever it is he dropped? Is it like a...
It smells sweet. If this was above ground, you might think it was honey.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
I want honey.
So does everybody else,
Honey.
including those skittering sounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's go faster after
let's
that.
go.
As you begin to rush a little bit faster, you hear a sort of "Arr! Arr!" And then again, a few moments later, and you also hear a sort of brief noise just beforehand. You think that perhaps Urgle hasn't got the hang of bending low enough, and he keeps bumping his head on the ceiling. He's not liking this. Eldon sort of turns to him and, for goodness sake, lad, it's not that hard to just stay bent over. Just stop bumping your head on the ceiling, goddammit. Give me a second. Just gotta do that. There we go. Fix the cameras. Hello, James. Welcome along. We are currently stumbling along in the deep, deep darkness.
As to be expected.
Yes, indeed. Oh, there's 2 dots. Didn't mean to do that. Cool. Yeah, we're stumbling along in the deep, deep darkness. We've turned all the lights off. You guys can hear skittering coming near you, but when you cast light and looked about you, there was nothing to be seen. We've recently dropped a pot of what may or may not have been some form of honey, or at least something sweet. And Garrick has decided to speed the group along. As you get a little further down, Garrick, you sort of risk very slowly moving your head up, and you're able to stand. And then you put your hand above your head, and you touch nothing. And at that moment, I need a dex save, as you sort of reach out to find what's around you, and you stumble slightly.
Oh, that's a 20.
A 20. Yeah, there's this sort of crumbling sound almost. And then suddenly, the ground in front of you just collapses out. You stop, but you hold yourself before falling down. And as you sort of pat your foot out in front of you, you can find nowhere to place it other than on rubble that seems to be sliding down a hill. Sareth calls forward to you. You need to turn to the right.
I will produce flame.
I've never seen such an apt meaning of the blind leading the blind. Come now.
If you can see, why don't you lead us?
And then nobody knows if we're being chased from behind. I suppose it's a trade-off.
He's fine where he is now.
What was that? Sorry, again?
He's fine where he is now.
Exactly as far away from me as Garrick can physically possible. Yeah, so Garrick's doing a decent job of leading at this moment, and Topsy sort of moves a little way to the front and comes next to you. I can guide you if you need a little bit, at least. I can at least tell you if you're about to walk off the cliff. So,
You can stay somewhat closer to the front then.
Yeah, he's joined sort of just behind you, between you and Eldeth, and he sort of says that heat sensitive eyes are all well and good, but actually it's very cold down here, and they can't see a huge amount either. But they can see where the tunnel goes. The wind, and it seems to be quite wide. As you take a right, and you walk into this sort of area, you can hear very distantly the dripping of water. But it's far. It's very far. Nevertheless, it's something to focus on as you walk on along. You manage to maintain a somewhat steady pace for quite a while. And then Vela comes to and lets out an ear-splitting shriek. And she begins to flail wildly on your shoulders, Orest.
On my shoulder?
You were carrying Vela, right? The halfling?
Yeah.
So her legs are sort of kicking out, her arms are flailing around, she's shrieking in your ear.
Do you want me to let you on the floor?
The pain. The pain. Is this death? Is this
Where
death?
does it hurt?
Everywhere, all over, everywhere within me. It's like constant pain.
This might be unconventional, but can I use lay on hands to maybe put her to sleep? Like ease the pain to a point that she can fall asleep?
I would say you could bash her on the head and put her asleep. Zoroaster would know the best way of sort of medically, a sort of temple tap, if you like, that's not going to hurt her any more than is necessary, but will put her to sleep. Or you can sing her your favorite lullaby, one of the two.
I'll sing her my favorite lullaby.
I was joking.
I
Oh.
was gonna say I would be better at doing that.
I don't think any lullaby is going to put her to sleep right now. Zoroaster, you remember the whips of the drow, that which she succumbed to. They had this sort of paralyzing waves and shot spasms all up your body. To get her to sleep, you're going to need to knock her out. You'd know that.
Okay, I'll give her a knock.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very reticent about it.
Yep.
I'll give her a good knock to get her to sleep.
Okay, as you give her a short, sharp thump, she goes quiet and goes, very good. Very
Yes,
good,
but
love.
this won't be the solution for. This will not be a permanent
No,
solution.
but perhaps once
We
we're
need
in
to find a
camp,
way.
we might take a look at our injuries, see whether we can do
Yes.
anything about them, but for now,
Yes, we must.
silence is best. Silence is golden, in fact.
Yes.
I kind of turn to face her head and just gently caress the side of her face, going, "You poor thing, hang in there a bit longer."
As you reach on past Sky to sort of reach out for her, I've got to remind you guys, you cannot see, right? So you sort of flail out a little bit. You are able to find her head dangling over the bottom of the shoulder, following the sound. And as you say that, you sort of shoulder bump Sky in the back, who stumbles a little bit, but is all right.
If you could see, Sky would be staring icy daggers at you.
And walking backwards? Impressive.
No, he's
He's
Yum's
behind you. You said you were
okay.
behind Zoroaster, right? Yum is clutching your back, so he's leant past you to reach to Vela, and in fact has...
And I'd be giving you an icy side eye as to why the fuck you're close to touching me.
Yum is unaffected.
But you're able to move a little further, and I will bring you guys into a series of caverns.
Oh boy.
Up ahead, you see a bright light. It's fair to say this is sort of, right now, you're sort of 40 foot away from this, so I'm just going to put you there for now. But you see these sort of, this cavern open up, and you see these strange glowing crystals ahead. To though, in the darkness, this was almost blinding at first when you first saw it. Once you move into these lights slowly, give me a perception check, Garrett.
Alright. That's a spicy 5.
Okay. You think you saw a movement up ahead, but you couldn't work out what it was. And as you sort of begin to move into the light, you can hear some strange sounds coming out from your right. Up in the darkness up here. Something over there is rustling, perhaps, producing an unusual noise. And again, you see a slight skitter up ahead. It's a creature. You see two eyes peering out of the light down to your south before they duck back away. Another set of eyes peer out of the light again. Then gone.
Just really quickly, do we need the animations on for this map?
You can turn the animations off at any point if you're lagging, guys. I have them off myself on stream.
Just didn't know, because I know that sometimes you have things that, like, you know, that you want us to see move and stuff. So.
Yeah, no, the most important thing about the sort of, if we do animate the map, just very briefly, I'll animate the map very briefly just to explain. It's these sort of like white, they appear like they're sort of moving like ashes or lights. These really are present, but they're not ash, or they're just bits of points of light shining off of the crystals that sort of distract you, and you're not sure what's real and what's not, and what's moving and what's not. And as you first move into the light of these crystals, it's nice that you can see, but at the same time it's eerie that the light doesn't take you all that far. And again you hear the sort of steps across the ground far away from you, and then a slight noise that you're sure comes from ahead of you, like a shallow growl.
Yorick is gonna kind of position himself to be a bit more upright, head up high a little bit, to try to kind of assume a more threatening posture just in case he sees anything.
Okay.
And I'm going to bonus cast Adamantine Weapon. It lasts 1 hour.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Suddenly, Topsy is dragged away from you. Whoever was holding him probably, he was probably holding on to Yum. You feel the hand behind you, Yum, disappear. And as you turn in this dim light, you instead reach out and find Stool behind you instead. As the group seems to have bunched into a circle. You peer into the darkness, but Topsy's not with you.
Guys,
What is
there's
it?
one nearby.
In the darkness, you hear a strange sound. It's a little like pain. You hear bones begin to click, and Topsy making sort of pained sounds. And then, slowly, it's coming towards you. It's stepping towards you into the darkness. And leaning out is a rictus caricature of Topsy. Jaws stretched out. The face of a rodent pulled onto him. He holds in his hand a strange creature. A baby, you think, perhaps. This creature is little difficult to describe if we're being real. Give me a second on this one. I'll see if I can get an image for you because it's no simple image. Come on, behave yourself.
Does it look like Topsy's been killed and reanimated?
No. Topsy looks alright. He drags with him a creature that looks a little like that. It's strangely thin. It wears an unusual loincloth, and it holds in its hand a garrote. But he has broken its neck, and he hands it back to you, and you hear Topsy's voice strangled as if forced through a maw that is not meant to speak. We have enemies around us. I think we should prepare ourselves, at least. Ready your weapons.
This is very unladylike for me to say, but no shit.
Guys, you've noticed that Topsy doesn't look right. Even in this sort of semi-darkness, you quickly ascertain that he is a were creature of some sort. It looks rodent-like. Perhaps he's a were rat.
All the wares, that's kind of lame.
It's not the best were to be, is it? But nevertheless, it is what he is.
It has its advantages.
Let's don't prejudge the poor guy. Come on.
You just killed the guy. I mean, he's cool enough, right?
Well,
Come
a
on.
guy is a bit of a stretch. The thing is about 1.5 feet in height, and it appears to be a baby.
I guess. I guess he killed the baby, but he
These
killed the baby good.
Go on again. You killed the baby.
Oh, nothing.
Oh, right,
He
sorry.
killed the baby at least.
Josh,
Something.
You said?
These crystals that are emitting light, does it seem like they're doing anything else, or is it just a light source?
Just a light source.
Okay.
And stepping around the light, you're sure you saw a pair of eyes for a second. As you hear what can only be described as a territorial cry of a mother. As she looks for her child. And I ask you to, for the first time this campaign, please roll initiative.
Holy crap.
If you could roll initiative on D&D Beyond, please, I'd appreciate it. I'm just missing Garrick's. Again?
Yeah, just waiting for it.
Oh, okay. It's wow. It's doing the slow roll.
As well. Do I have the produce name up already?
Yeah, you can produce flame. That's fine. And as you step into the darkness, hearing this shriek out across at you. Yeah. Octavian, you're sure you sense a creature out to your right.
Octavian is going to just... You say to my right?
Yeah, so effectively dead left. Oh, what happened there? Did the lights go out for anybody else?
Yeah.
I still
Yeah, they did for me.
Lights.
I think the lights are still fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea what that was. All of the lights on the whole map just went out. There we go. I think I clicked something on my own screen. Yeah.
I'm gonna switch
Right,
for the
taking
stream.
us now, yeah. Oh. Damn it. Oh. Come on, behave yourself. There we go. Cool. Yeah, out to your right somewhere. You'll think that, so to the left on the screen. Ooh, the lights are coming in. That's fine, I can see everything.
Okay. Is Tavian is going to run to... Just a moment. To this pillar. Now, is this pillar like a physical thing that could be hid behind, or is it kind of waist height? Okay.
It's quite large. It's probably 12 or 13 feet high. But hiding in the light is sort of not hiding, right?
Yeah.
So if there is somebody directly behind the pillar to you, you will be completely hidden. But to everybody else, you are more visible.
Okay. Is there's not a way to delay my turn, is there?
Yeah, you can hold an action.
Because I'm considering moving, but I think with the way the light is, I don't know if Octavian can really do anything super beneficial.
Okay. So is it fair to say you'll hold an attack until you see an enemy within range?
Can I move and then hold an action?
Of course you can.
Okay, Octavian is going to run towards this pillar and kind of get on it so that he's closer to Garrick, and is going to say to everyone, kind of get up against this pillar and kind of say to everyone, stay in the light, don't give them the advantage of darkness, and kind of hide out next to this pillar and wait for something to come closer.
You wanted light, lad. And with that, Eldeth will oblige. Yeah, I can't see what you guys can see, so I'm hoping that just lit up for you guys. Did it?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Great.
I know
Yes.
there.
Fantastic. I'm having preview issues, but with that, I can't help but feel that maybe you've attracted the attention of some beasts. Dashing out from behind a pillar, a creature leaps out at Octavian. Octavian, if you want to make that attack that you were holding.
With that short sword, it is 19 to hit,
Yep. Go ahead.
And-
hit.
piercing.
That's a 24 to hit you. Octavian.
It's a 24 to hit me, but I still make an athletics check, right?
Yes, you're attempting to avoid being grappled, and he holds you in place with a garrote around your neck.
All right.
The second creature leaps out, snap.
Okay, so I am gonna reach out with a hand and fire off a ray of frost. It's to hit James.
Yeah, but he then makes a con save to be slowed, or does he just get slowed?
He just gets slowed.
Okay,
and that's
cool, nice.
one duel out.
Well, at least it'll help with pursuing him, should you wish to try and prevent Stool from getting to him. But you can't help but feel this light is your greatsword sort of clatters into the ground next to him, as in the sort of as you run with the light now to your back, the effect distorts the vision in your eyes, and you can't quite get. Just realized, hold the fucking phone. Okay, whatever. I've screwed up slightly, but it doesn't matter. That leads.
Okay. Garrick is action to wild shape into a brown bear.
Is that a large creature?
That is a large creature. Is there enough space?
Yeah, there's enough space. I'm just making you larger so that we know.
Alright. As I will then see. We got that handled with.
I think we know where the priority is, Octavian, and it doesn't seem to be you. It seems to be the mushroom dude.
I understand. It makes sense.
Me too. He's edible. Yep.
And I'm going to then proceed to bite and claw at it.
Fantastic.
My hero.
Go ahead. Why do you snap? Honestly, it tastes foul. It tastes unwashed, unclean, and of soot and ash. But you do hear a shriek, and he lets go of Stool, which is pretty. It's just annoyed at you.
Good. Please die. Oh. 20 for 12.
It heals from you a little frightened.
And I'll tower over it perennially.
Cool. Does
as
that
I-
conclude your turn?
Yes, that's my action bonus action.
Say that you let go of Vela to rush into the fight. You put her down.
I would leave her with care.
Holding the mayor, Sareth will stand over Vela as well, to ensure that the two of them together. Bupido comes and stands behind Sareth. You get the impression he's not feeling a fight. Not sure which one is real. You guys are. You know that this one is real, but the enemy is going to be unsure.
Does that technically mean that Garrick can now flank?
If the creature is facing one of Stool, yes.
To the rocks here, and I'm going to shoot this creature using my hand crossbow.
Nice. Go ahead. Roll ahead.
That's a 12.
As your bolt skitters past its
Just turn it!
Does that class as bardic inspiration? Or are you holding on to that?
I'm gonna hold on to it.
Does that conclude your turn?
It does for now.
Okay. That brings us to this larger creature over here, who begins to step forward. It is like the father of all of these little dudes. And they begin to circle around. Octavian.
Okay.
The creature is no longer choking you, but it is right next to you.
Just to make sure, can I make an attack and then disengage?
Of course you can. You can provided you can disengage as a bonus action.
I
You have
can. I
cunning
believe
action,
cunning
yeah?
action.
So
yeah.
you can action and bonus action in any order.
Okay, so I am going to attack the creature in front of me with to hit short sword.
Mhm.
That is a 25.
25 will
20.
hit, and nat 20. Nice.
Yeah.
So do you want to deal your card onto the table and use your crit card?
I don't know what that means.
So just above your name, James, there is a little card that I dealt you. Oh no, never mind, wrong game. That just means you've got a D4 of inspiration. Don't worry about it. Forgot about it. Yeah, cool. Nat 20. So go ahead and give me your critical damage.
Is there a specific way to do that in
I
D&D
think
Beyond?
it will have done it automatically for you. So when you look at your short sword damage, it should be a 2d6 instead of a 1d6.
Okay. Yes, it is. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so if you hit
So-
that, and then obviously go down to your sneak attack damage and roll that as well, as you have an ally within 5 feet.
Oh, sneak attack damage is. Sorry, where?
Somewhere in your character sheet.
Oh, I see. Okay,
yeah.
plus a 1d6. So
Okay, that you will have to probably just click twice or right-click it and click crit damage. But roll your sword damage as well.
sword damage is 11.
Okay, so that's 11 slashing damage and then 2d6 of slashing from your sneak attack.
Oh, okay. So I can just roll that d6 again. So plus 7.
Nice. So that is a lot of damage in total. But the creature is only wounded, not slain. He's in fact severely wounded. And then you're
Octavian-
disengaging, yeah?
Yeah, Octavian is going to disengage, knowing that he sort of did a decent hit, but it's still not dead. He is kind of going to panic and get the hell back and disengage. And how far can he get away? Gonna kind of fall back pretty far.
Okay. Yeah, standing behind Eldeth is probably a good idea.
Yeah, back there.
Okay. Fantastic. Prince Durendil comes over here, and with Urgle, he sort of comes up next to him, and he grabs this creature and begins to slam its head over and over again into the stones on the ground. It's probably dead at some point, but he keeps on slamming it. And that leads us to our second Measle, who is... he turns to the bear that so battered him and attempts to make a slash out with a sort of makeshift daggery thing. That's a 22 to hit.
Yes.
I would like to invoke a reaction for silvery barbs.
Okay. So he will re-roll. He will still hit, unfortunately, with a 22. Who do you want to give your advantage to?
I am going to give it to... I'll give it to Urgle.
Okay, cool. Urgle has no weapon. You are aware of that, yes? So you'll be giving it to a guy who's gonna grapple someone.
Yes,
Okay, cool. Right, love that.
but it could be used for an ability check or a saving throw.
Yeah. It must be used for the next ability check, saving throw, or attack roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he will turn 23 to hit now instead. What's your name? Garrick, your bear will take 6 piercing damage.
All right.
And 6 necrotic damage. As this sort of, it's dripping ichor off of its blade. It's really not very nice. It's not very clean. These creatures are vile and disgusting. and you can hear more of them coming from up ahead. Sky, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot another ray of frost over at that guy.
Okay. Attention.
22 to hit.
A 22 will hit. Give me some damage. See if you can kill him. I don't think you can possibly kill him.
Another fucking one.
Even if you put fuck in front of it, it still only does 1 damage.
And
You didn't take Elemental Adept Cold for your feet, did you?
No. And his movement speed is still decreased by that 10 feet.
Yes, he has 15 foot of movement speed, so he's not getting very far. Cool. No bonus action out of you?
Don't have one. I mean, I do, but no.
A creature pounces towards the back of the bear and tries to dip its... No, it doesn't. Ignore that roll. It tries to jump onto the bear's back and grapple it with a garrote, but unfortunately it falls to the side and is temporarily prone before getting to its feet next to the bear. The second one joins him, again trying to leap onto the... No, never mind, I've skipped Zoroaster's turn. Zoroaster, you're up.
Well, seeing that, is this thing dead? Or is it almost dead?
No, it's a little cold. But your brother has not been very effective with his damage.
Right, I'll quickly move here, just so I can get an advantage to hit it.
You'd be better off going there. That's flanking. Because it's facing... It's facing... Garrick.
I did get to 15, darling.
15 will hit.
Whoa. That's 5 damage. Plus 4? 5 plus 4? What is it?
It's 11 damage?
It's 11 damage. Thank you, Roll20, for doing math for me, because I don't know how.
I'm looking at you, I was just like, hey? And that is enough to slash it, slay it, and kill it, and beat it up.
Very well. I will then use the rest of my turn to move here. And end it.
Okay, that's brave.
Why?
Because there's more of them.
How many more do I hear?
Well, 1 here. You lots in the distance, but right now just 2 is what you see.
Okay, then I'm gonna move in a way that, just give me a second because I have to reload the map. I'm gonna move here. No, here. Here is best because I'll still have enough movement to help my buddy later. That's my turn.
Yes, I think that way. Okay, another creature leaps up towards Garrick, attempting to get on his bear-like back. As it makes an attack. Oh, that's a 17 to get on you.
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a athletics check with bear, and take 5 bludgeoning damage while you're at it. You're attempting to beat a 9. A strength check if your bear does not specify having an athletics skill.
Alright, I rolled it. It's a 16.
Nice. Yeah, you just sort of nope and dash him off onto the ground. But you see a larger creature lumbering towards you, and as it stands there, it sort of flexes its shoulders, and you hear this sort of crackle of muscles as it pulls a large garrote. It stands almost 8 feet tall, and because it looks kind of cool and whatnot, it will encourage Ront, who will go and run at it with his great axe. As he makes a sort of yelling sound as he swings out. He crashes his axe into the ground next to it. Sort of just misjudged the pace of things, you know, and it just got past him. I don't know how he missed a creature that big, but he did. Eldeth moves over to... No. Eldeth will turn to Octavian. Steve firm, lad. And we'll give you her measly heal. Well, that's nice, isn't it? That's 3 healing for you, Octavian.
Amazing.
And
The
then
most I've been held in the campaign.
and then Elder sort of moves out a little in front of you and then just sort of sets herself ready, but then she turns to you guys. I don't know at what point we want to start running. And I'm not sure if the bear man can hear us or understand. Garrick, you're up.
No, he can't. Garrick, keep fighting.
He can
You're doing
understand
great.
and hear you, but yeah.
I'll speak in bear. You're doing great, Garrick.
Garrick, up and you see two smallers in front of you and a large one.
Then, kind of like momentarily before I begin to slash him more, my like right claw will kind of motion to get the hell away, mostly to Ron over here. As I will then. Do I? No, wait. He has to be facing away from me, right? For advantage, for flanking, whatever, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, alright.
They are all looking at you.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and slash at this one here. Yeah, this one.
Yep. As you bring your bear claw down, massive sort of blow. The creature ducks to the side, but I'm unsure whether he got out the way because I haven't seen your roll yet.
Let's see, bite. That's 15.
Yes, he ducks too slowly. Go ahead and claw his head in.
That's a 5. That's a minimal damage, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, so 5 slashing damage. Wrong one. Cool.
And the claws,
Here to
that's
other-
an 8. That misses, but it did way better damage. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The first one was a bite. Yes. You were able to bite into this creature in front of you, but then he sort of ripped himself away, losing a little bit of his shoulder as he ducks away from your claw as it slams down into the ground. And as the dust sort of comes up in front of your face, you see that there are more of these creatures moving across in darkness.
Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and like move over here-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As I'll then kind of try to make myself a bit more threatening a little bit. Big old bear. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Yum. A creature comes sprinting out towards you and grabs you, attempting to grapple you. That is an 8 to hit you, which I'm assuming would miss.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, cool. And it's your turn.
Well, I say to this creature, you know I love children, but for a little kid, you're pretty pathetic. As I give it a vicious mockery.
He is unmocked. As he stands there with a nat 20 on his wisdom save, looking at you like, really? That's the best you could do?
Okay. I then turn my head towards Sky and say, come on, Sky, I know you can do better than that. Freeze these bastards into hell. And I give him a bardic inspiration.
Yeah. Any movement speed, or are you staying put?
I am going to run behind Eldrin.
Okay, you will provoke an opportunity attack.
I'll take it.
Okay, he swings out this sort of custom-made dirk at you. That's a 20 to hit.
That will hit.
You'll take 8 piercing and 3 necrotic damage for a total of 11.
That piercing would immediately knock me down.
It's all combined into one hit, though, so don't worry, no death save fails. And that leads us to Octavian.
Oh no, sorry. The Roll20 hasn't updated. I'm on 2 hit points.
Okay, even with your full 11 damage, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, great. It won't
Sorry.
update. You will need to update it, or I will. Yeah.
But you can still move though.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah. Octavian, sorry, you're up.
Sorry, so Yum isn't down, right?
No, Yum is not down. He's currently cowering behind Eldeth. Good place to be.
Okay. What kind of range do I have if I throw a dagger?
It says on the dagger.
Oh, my
Give me a
apologies.
second. I have many things open, but I don't actually have you guys' character sheets right now.
It says range 20/60 feet.
Okay, so 20 feet, you will have a straight roll. Between 20 and 60 feet, you'll have disadvantage. Over 60 feet, you will be incapable of throwing it that far.
Okay. So let's...
And bear in mind, if you have disadvantage, you cannot get sneak attack. So you will need to take a step forward to throw it, although you won't get sneak attack anyway, because there's nothing next to that guy.
But what about Garrick?
Yeah, if you perhaps moved to that space that I'm currently on, you would be able to throw
again,
your dagger.
I haven't done combat in a minute. I can move, throw, and then move again, correct?
Yeah, you can use as much of your movement speed at any given moment throughout the turn as you like. So you can run up there, chuck your dagger, and run back to exactly where you are, getting sneak attack damage as well.
Yes, we're going to move there. Chuck the dagger
Yeah.
at 20 feet. So that should be... What am I doing to hit?
Yeah, just to stab him. Yep.
11 to hit.
That'll miss, I'm afraid. Your dagger clatters in the ground next to Ront, who picks it up and throws it back to you. Try again.
Oh. Okay, great. Got it back.
Yes, you can have your dagger back, but unfortunately you have missed.
Octavian is going to kind of turn to everyone and say, I don't know how tenable this fight is. These things are much stronger than they look. We need to consider an escape plan if things continue as they are.
Any bonus action from you?
I don't know if there's anything I can do, though. Octavian is going to
I
move
believe you
back a
have
bit.
bonus action hide. And you may hide behind your friends.
I was going to say, I don't think there's anything to hide behind.
You can
that
hide
would be,
behind Yam and Eldeth.
I think Octavian understands that that may not be the most socially acceptable thing to do. Though Octavian will move farther back.
Cool.
Doesn't want to die.
Oh, that's fair. Sky, you're up.
Okay.
I should just mention, sorry, just so that you guys know, because maybe you're thinking that you don't have any choices here. You have passed potentially other possibilities, even if it's right back up that horrible stretch of path to get back around the corner, right? You can run to the north as easily as you can run to the southwest or east. Or more easily, perhaps, because then you don't have to run past people. Sorry, carry on, Sky.
Okay. I'm just gonna move up one. And then, because like Sky's obviously not had an opportunity to really use his psychic powers in a combat sense, but he's gonna try and like his face is very like I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I had the word in my head a second ago. He's like, I don't know, like a mixture of like uncomfortableness and almost like he's trying to balance something.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, as he tries to focus on whatever this big thing is, this thing starts to hear ominous whispers all around him. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 19.
Okay, so he'll take half the damage and not move anywhere. Nice, 17 psychic.
Okay. Yeah, he seems completely unfazed. Does that conclude your turn?
Yeah. What is that thing, by the way?
It's a very large version of the other things. So I can send you a picture.
I've seen a picture of the other things.
Yeah, it's a very, very big version of that. It's like a daddy version. And it is, in fact, its turn. This guy's turn. It will pick up Ront, and it'll launch him at Topsy. As they collide together, they both take 4 bludgeoning damage and crash to the ground. And it wades towards you. It stands behind Garrick. It reaches out with its club. That is a 19 to hit you.
For me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, max damage. 15 bludgeoning. As he thunks down his baton upon you. And Eldeth sort of yells out, I think it might be time to make a little bit of an escape, don't you think?
I would have to agree with you.
Zoroaster.
I'm gonna move here to get advantage on my hit.
Okay.
Is a 16 to hit?
Nope, that'll miss, I'm afraid. It's not even a miss. As you swing your weapon, it just sort of puts its arm out and just blocks your arm from hitting. Your sword never quite reaches.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around. It looks like we have no choice, so I'll just agree with leaving.
Okay. It looks down with deep purple eyes at you. It says one word that you think you understand. Land.
Okay, I don't have time for you. Sorry, bye. And I'll prepare to leave.
Okay. Yeah. The 2 measles here, as Garag's back, sort of cross their swords together, and again repeat the word land, and attempt to stab at you. Oof, that's a nat 20.
Ow.
Yes, ow. That sounds about right. That's 10 piercing damage. Are you no longer bear?
Yes, I am no longer there.
In some cases, the opponent damage is irrelevant. Yeah, and the other one will make a slash at you, but an 8 will miss. And the second measle just utters, "It's ours!" in Undercommon, which you do speak, right?
Me? Yes.
Yes, great. Cool. Garrick, you're up.
As I am then kind of reduced back to my normal form and able to speak again, as I'm just all of a sudden smaller than before, I'll say in a pain grunt,
Hurry up and leave already. We don't have time, and there are more. I will attempt to hold them off as best as I can.
as I will once again, first up actually. All right, let's see if maybe this will work.
Sorry, what are you doing?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, you're considering, sorry.
I'm gonna. This thing is pretty strong. Probably wouldn't be worth it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and moon shape bonus action again. This time. Bear's probably the best bet, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll transform to a bear again.
Any action from you?
Yes. I'm going to, seeing that this thing is far too strong, I'm going to decide to just. How is this thing? This thing looks still relatively fine.
Yeah, they're both fine.
Okay. Alright. I'm going to try to hack at this thing once more. Try to kill one more to help ease off future thing. So I'm going to go ahead then. Bite and claw.
Yep. $17 will hit. 9 damage. Cool. And as you bring your heavy paw down upon him,
Just waiting for it. 17. for 11 slashing.
Cool. He is injured and
All right.
relatively unhappy about the situation. The others move up. Prince Durendil and Urgle both collapse on the back of this creature, and you can see them kind of holding it back. And Prince Durendil sort of looks up and says, "Run!" Thinking that him and Urgle are going to hold it back. Urgle takes his advice and runs. Not quite what he was hoping for, but never mind. That brings us to Eldin, who I think I just covered somewhere. Oh no, there she is, Eldin. And what she does is like sort of brightens her light and then begins to step backwards, and she's actually going to drag Yum with her, if Yum will accept it. She's going to pull you back a couple of steps. And then she will sort of stand here, and she holds the bright light, and she turns and, "I think it's time to get out. Come on, bind me. Is there anybody who disagrees and wants to continue fighting? Sky and Zoroaster? Okay.
I don't think it's a smart idea to try and go back into a tight corridor when we've got people chasing us.
I thought we were just gonna kind of like move this way, or like go around them.
I was
trying to go
thinking,
around them. Okay. Octavian?
because the big one is here. If we continue down this way, that's the only way I can really see getting out of it.
Yet again, he utters the word land. And you can give me a... they've said hours and land. You can give me an insight check if you wish. But they seem rather possessive of the crystals.
Gone 11.
Anybody
That's
can
all
make
you're
insight?
getting. Yeah, anybody can. Yeah, go on. You can still make an insight check as a bear, I think.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm not a dum-dum. Just means I'm a bear.
Yeah.
I have 8. Doesn't mean
Apparently
I'm
it has
good at
affected your
stealth.
insight. Who knew? But yes, you definitely get the impression they're possessive of the crystals themselves. Perhaps if you were to swerve into the darkness, they may not pursue you. Though one of them definitely seemed like it was trying to take stool for some breakfast. So I don't know, maybe they're just hungry. In that case, Octavian, it is your choice.
How much conversation ability can Octavian have with others right now?
Well, you're able to talk.
Um,
Their ability to listen depends on who they are.
going to call out to Garrick and Sky and say, we either need to leave from where we came or leave from a different direction. Keeping this fight is only going to result in our deaths. Where are we going?
Eric's bare paw as he's kind of sidelining a bit, trying to not get hit, kind of then point to as he just kind of points in the general direction of over here-ish.
West. Yeah, he's pointing
Okay.
west, effectively, as you look at the map. Upon seeing this, Sareth will pick up Mebble. Pick up Vela. And with Mebble and Bupido in tow, they will run into the darkness. Sky. Sorry, Octavian, you still got the rest of a turn. Carry on.
Yes. In terms of throwing... Okay, never mind. Octavian is just going to... Octavian's going to run here. Let's see if we get any more sight. Oh my god. Okay, no, not a lot of sight at all. I guess Octavian will hold an action.
Yeah, cool.
From
What
that
action are you
position.
holding?
Attack. The
Okay,
short sword.
and what's the trigger if somebody comes close enough?
If someone attacks Octavian, or I guess Stool,
Yep.
if it's in range, yeah.
Okay. Stool will attempt to bustle on over towards Bupido. And indeed, Topsy follows. Ront bravely steps up next to Garag to sort of hold the fort. Urgle was told to run. So he runs sort of in this direction, and then he realizes everybody's over that way, and then he runs a bit over this way. And that leads us to Sky.
Cool. I'm gonna use my movement speed to get over here.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna shoot a ray of frost over at this guy.
Okay.
A 21 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
A
Hey!
4 damage.
Yeah, and that is enough to take him out. Nice. As you,
XP goblins, XP
Yeah.
goblins.
You didn't even have to use the bardic die.
do remember, I did tell you in pre-session, you get more XP for getting out without combat and surviving than you do for killing them.
XP goblins.
It's almost like you don't want us to become murderous survivors.
I mean, you can have XP for killing each other if you want.
Get enough XP to get Revivify and then rinse and repeat.
Okay, that's really dark. The Mazel here, he moves across, but he draws a line in the ground between him and you, Garrick, with his sword. And he looks up and just says, "Ours!" Zoroaster.
So I'm gonna try something that might be a little stupid or perhaps even a little silly, but I'll look at this big creature in front of me and in Undercommon I will say, "Your land."
Yes.
And then, okay, I'm glad you agree, buddy. So I'm just gonna back away from your land, okay? And I'm gonna sheathe my greatsword and I'm gonna back away and see if this provokes an attack of opportunity.
He puts his club back in its sort of hip bit.
Very well.
And nods to you, and he also backs up. Yeah.
If we have an understanding, me and my comrades will just pass through. We will avoid not go in your land.
Ours!
Yes, yours.
Land!
We do not go in your land. Your land, yes.
Ours!
Yes, yes.
And he reaches
We
behind
go
him,
around.
grabs Durendal, and lobs him over towards you.
Yes, yes, yes. Good, very good. Hurrah. We go around, okay? Around your land.
And as it is obvious that an agreement has been made, and as long as you don't come into the light, the combat is concluded.
Bless the gods, not even a persuasion check in sight. Woo!
And you may each take 183 experience points.
Oh, level 3. You will take
And
so
we
sweet
move to the
once we
break.
get there.
Welcome back to the second half of In the Darkness Lurks. And indeed, in the darkness does lurk many, many things as you sidestep round out of these gems. Eldeth is currently holding a light out, and you are able to walk around the territory of the strange mazels. One mazel follows you and continues to use his sword to draw a line between you and him, and as he turns to cut the line off at the end of the path of the crystals, Garrick, you're able to lead the party onwards towards that sound of running, dripping water. As you reach round past the water, you come to a winding passageway which is tight, perhaps only 3 foot wide. You are moving quite slowly as Valor is hurt, Yam is hurt, Octavio is hurt. Even you are hurt, I guess, actually, to a point.
Gary would still be in his bear form just in case, because as well.
Yep, Eldeth is leading with you. Sareth is again bringing up the rear, but as you are moving slowly, after a short while, perhaps 40 minutes or so, you hear the sounds of swords in the passages behind you. You hear shouts that sound awfully like those mazels that are cut off with the sounds of death. You're being pursued.
Kind of urge on as I will pick up the pace a little bit, kind of hitting on my feet, pawn, and run a little bit.
As you get to a little further down, Bupido Hold. I know this place. We're moving towards the Dark Lake.
What's the Dark Lake?
It's a lake. It's dark. It's a network of... He sort of smiles. He was just being a sarcastic prick, because James is a sarcastic prick.
I'm looking dead at him.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He says, it's a network of underground rivers, tunnels, canals that connect innumerable water-filled caverns and chambers. It was made by the Duergar, engineers that extended and widened many of the interconnecting passageways. It's useful for navigating.
Will it get us out of here?
Well, that depends. Out of where to where? What do you mean by out of here?
Can we go to a nearby settlement, somewhere we can perhaps hide?
There are many, many places to hide in the Underdark. But in the Dark Lake, from there, perhaps there is somewhere I could lead you. Though, I mean, for me, I think it is the best place we could go. It's Grachelstug. Grachelstug is an area where we could perhaps, I could go home. But you may also be able to equip yourself for the Underdark, if nothing else.
If we take you to your home, will you be able to provide me with heavier armor?
I don't know that we make anything that would fit a humanoid like you. Though, something could be assisting, I guess. Topsy
And you
looks
have
over.
my sword.
Sort of... And you see him twitch, his face twitching like he's still a rodent, even though he's not. Nothing has been said of his were-rat heritage, and he hopes that it stays that way. Sort of. I could perhaps take us to Blingdenstone. I do know the way if we can get to the Dark Lake. Though it is a little bit of a difficult journey. Lots and lots of long, narrow corridors full of different enemies, and it's quite difficult to get up there, but I could get us there.
Hey.
What?
If it's safety, then stop stumbling and take us there.
There's no such thing as safety in the Underdark. But it's somewhere that I know. Perhaps we should get to the Dark Lake and then work it out from there. And Stool sort of takes this moment to... Hey,
Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
I want to go home too.
Yes, buddy. Name the way, we will take you.
Neverlight Grove.
Very well, Stool, and I will pick him up. Lead us to Neverlight Grove.
I don't know the way.
Fuck. Stool.
Don't fuck
Buddy.
Stool. That is really wrong on so many levels.
Buddy, I want to help you, but you need to help us.
I don't know the way. They blindfolded me and they put me in a bag. Kind of pointless.
Does anybody know the
Blindfolded,
way?
just put it in a
Does
bag.
anybody know the way to Stool's Grove? Does anybody want my sword and protection?
The Neverlight Grove is where I was picked up.
Yes, you, to the front. And I'll let him shuffle.
I'm not sure that I know the way either, but it was on the way to this Dark Lake. Perhaps we could go that way.
I look over at Sky.
Basically, everybody tells you that head towards the water and we'll at least find a place we can get somewhere from. You look over at Sky. Sky looks over at you.
What do you think?
It's love at first sight.
Ew! It's in Westeros?
Wincest.
Game of
Sky,
Thrones.
what do you think? Not of the incest, of the
Yeah, because I thought that was a secret. Anyway.
What in the Targaryen is going on?
Sky kind of looks at you like as if confused as to what you're asking, and he just says, "I don't think we should be showing people how to get home. I think we need to move."
Very well, I start moving.
Okay. As you guys descend slightly down the corridor, once again, Vela stirs. You feel her sort of begin to writhe, and you know that she's going to scream shortly.
Bonk.
Oh, you're just going to knock her out? Great, love that for you. Okay.
It's not what I want to do, but it's what must be done.
Yeah, I mean, the drow would be able to hear you, right?
Yes. And at least this will keep her alive.
Sareth pipes up from the back. The Dark Lake is the best place to avoid my people. It is harder to track on water.
Yes. Let us go quickly.
Does anyone know their way with boats?
How would you define knowing a way with a boat?
Can you row in a straight line?
No.
Oh, well, fuck that shit. No, he doesn't say that. He's well, regardless, boats would be the hardest to track. Blubladop is a little way from here. Is that how I say it? I'm gonna give it another go. Sorry, Sloobludop. Sloobludop.
Okay, let me get back into character.
Sloobludop. It's not far from here.
Anybody else in the party? Do either of you know how to row a boat?
I think we can learn if it's the best way we can escape our current pursuers. It can't be that difficult. I've read a book with a boat in it.
I can think of nothing more entertaining than rowing in circles while fleeing for our lives. Yum, you were saying?
You'd be surprised how much I can keep in rhythm.
Guy kind of like raises an eyebrow at Octavian as if to say, really? You of all people have never been on a boat before?
Stepped inside.
Do I make an insight check on the eyebrow raise?
No, you get exactly what he's referring to.
What? Why is that such a surprise?
If I have to explain it to you, then we're all doomed. And I'll just start walking in the right direction.
As I cross Octavian, I said, "Sorry, dude. He just said what we're all thinking."
Okay. The bear begins to lumber forwards. It is time to follow it.
Let us follow the bear.
Cool. As you head on down the corridor, once again, it begins to open up into wider passageways, and Eldeth sort of turning the light off. Don't want to attract enemies. Get ready. 3, 2, and 1. And then she just cuts off the light, and it once again goes dark. The bears have tails. This is an important.
I think they have like the little puffy small tail or something.
Very small.
Yeah, very small puffy tail.
Eldeth grabs your very small tail, and yeah, you're all able to sort of reach somebody else. It's not long, perhaps, I don't know, a few minutes, before you start to hear an unusual sound. It's like bubbling, perhaps? And you soon see, just in a faint light echoing from under a pool of water, you seem to be walking alongside a river fairly soon afterwards. Are you just going to follow the river for now?
Yeah, it will take us to the lake.
As we're going, I'll kind of sniff along, seeing if I smell anything strange as we're going.
Give me a survival check. And then give me a perception check as well, the other way around, actually.
So survival check, then perception?
Perception, then survival. It should be that way around.
Alright, it should be advantage because this thing...
Yes, yes.
I actually don't know if traveling the river is the best way.
You're not looking for a lake, do bear that in mind. The Dark Lake is a series of interconnecting rivers and lakes.
Yeah.
And so you're headed towards the Dark Lake. Sarah can tell you that for free. The perception check, 21.
21?
Yeah, you smell fish. See within your survival check you can interpret what kind of fish. You can sniff it
17.
a mile away. Yeah, it's not the kind of fish that goes swimmy in water. It's the kind of fish that companion you left behind. It is Kuatoa that you are smelling. And indeed, a Slubblebop is... What a stupid name for a place. Let's do it again. So Lubludop is the is the city of the Kuatoa. They are all insane. It's no surprise they called their place Lubludop. So as you head on down the river, Sarath will inform you that should you wish to requisition boats, Lubludop is the place to do it. Why, you are nearly recovered there, Bruno, aren't you? Good, I'm enjoying that. And as you begin to move along, there's another smell that joins those previous smells. It's a little rancid. It smells a little like rot. It's sort of sickly sweet like rot. And it's coming from a little ways away from the river. Perhaps you think it might be a passageway leading slightly off the river? But before you can say anything or make a decision, Stools pipes up with, "Home! Home! I smell home!"
Well, we can take you there for a little visit, but then you're coming with us, okay, buddy?
I go home!
Yes, and then you're coming with us.
And you, Garrick, well, first of all, Octavian, you feel somebody let go of your back as Stool stops connecting you to Mebble. And moments later, you all feel Stool brushing past as he boings past you, leaping on past Garrick, and he grabs Garrick one of your whiskers and yoinks you into an unusual cavern.
Quickly, follow the mushroom.
A strange blue light is attached to the ceiling as you see yourself in a grove full of mushrooms. Some huge and some small. But as Stool boings inwards, he suddenly... Oh, like home, but not home. No. Like home, but not home.
Is the smell of rot stronger?
The smell is sickly sweet, but it's perhaps closer to fungus than rot. As you get closer, and you begin to realize that some of these mushrooms that slowly move around are indeed the source of the smell. And the whole place looks like this image that we see here, but I will take you to the map of the area more directly.
Can Octavian keep an eye on Sereth at the moment? If
Gareth?
visible
Yeah.
at all to him?
Yeah. I think you should be able... Can you see now? A little bit?
Let's have a look. Yes, okay.
Yeah. So there's an eerie light coming off of all of these different mushrooms. In fact, you can all see relatively clearly, I think, right? You can all see relatively clearly, is that correct?
Yep.
Yep. And a little tiny mushroom sort of arrives at the front. I'm just going to swap Garrick and... Oh, that's sure as hell not what I wanted to do. So stop doing cartwheels. What's wrong with you? Yeah, and he lets sort of these little spores out, and they drift over you all. Garrick, Zoroaster, Sky. I need a charisma save, please.
There's a charm. Oh no, never mind. Is this a charm condition? Okay.
I mean, it couldn't be because I'm already charmed as hell.
15.
17? 15.
15.
Yeah, I see that. And Zoroaster?
22.
Sorry, and Sky is what I was looking for.
I got a 17.
Okay, cool. These spores don't seem to affect you in the slightest, though you do feel a slight wave of a little bit like vertigo, you know, like your stomach has dropped out from beneath you and then it's back and you don't really notice much. But Stool then lets out a little emission of his own and they begin to trade spores. And sure enough, a little while after, a larger mushroom comes around the corner. And standing perhaps 5 or 6 feet tall, it leans down towards you, and from its head it sort of ruffles and green spores settle over you. I need every one of you to make a wisdom save, please.
18.
21 natural 20.
Nice.
6.
19.
Yum and Octavian, as you turn to the group, you notice that many of them appear to be drowsing off. Beginning to look not sleepy, but instead transfixed, like in a dream state. Everybody else, you see yourself face to face with a more humanoid version of a face, but still attached to the stalk of a mushroom, as it addresses you in your mother tongue. So, for the elves, Elvish, obviously, and perhaps Garrick in Orcish, and others in their own languages as well. Welcome to the Grove of Darklight.
This is a bit awkward. I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't speak Elvish?
Nope.
Yeah, okay, so it'll address you in whatever language you feel is most comfortable. So it could be common, whatever. It's you that's interpreting the language, not it. So it is you that would dictate what language it speaks to you. And Yum and Octavian, you hear various people respond in various tongues out loud. I don't know what these three are saying, but you will hear Eldeth say, I haven't heard the tongue of my ancestors in so many years. It is a pleasure. Amongst various other responses. Garrick, how would you respond? Not very well, I guess, and as a bear.
So this is in my head, that's what I'm hearing?
Yeah, how long did bear form last?
An hour.
Oh, okay, you're not a
Yes.
bear anymore. Well,
Alright.
no, you don't know it to be in your head. You think that this mushroom has just addressed you in Orcish, saying, welcome to the Darklight Grove.
Greeting.
As he'll just kind of look strangely at it.
Be at ease. Come on in. Any gestures for you to follow? Sky. As you're addressing your mother tongue. Welcome to the Darklight Grove. How do you respond?
I asked them what this place is.
It's our home. The Myconids tribe here makes its home here. You may come in and rest and be at ease if you wish.
Not a nudist colony. They said you can come here undressed and be
Come in here and rest and be at ease if you wish.
Sure, that's not what you said, but okay.
Mushrooms, they don't go
I've
well.
never run a campaign where I've demanded that you undress, and I never will, unless it's just you and I.
Are we safe here?
We keep most outsiders out, but with your friend here, we can shelter you for a while. You may only stay, but what exactly? How would he phrase that? You can only stay, but half a cycle. But in that time, you may rest.
Okay. Do you know either the way to the Dark Lake or
We
a
leave
way
not.
to the surface?
We leave not the grove. But they are offering to shelter you for a long rest.
Yeah, Sky kind of like lets out a sigh, but
Well,
it's
let's
not
catch
going
up
to
with
push the
Zarasta.
issue because obviously what?
Let's catch up with Zarasta before we get to that bit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Zarasta, you here. Welcome to the Darklight Grove. And
Hello, mushroom god.
I am no god. Just a friend of a friend.
Oh, where is your god?
We have no god, though our king is further in.
Ooh, can I meet the king?
The suggestion is that your party come in and rest. You will
May
meet the
I-
king when you do so.
Oh, is it like an open invitation or?
Please follow me. You may
Oh,
stay but half a cycle. I
okay.
understand that some of your friends are in need of rest and healing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm in prestige condition.
Prestigious condition.
So if I could meet your king, that would be
Perhaps
most pleasant.
the sovereign, and then he just
Yes.
thinks for a second and is willing to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Yum and Octavian, as you see various people responding out loud. It's like a bubble of conversation in many different languages, some of which you understand.
We should have done the roleplay all at the same time.
Yes, that would have made sense. How are you perceiving this? How are you feeling about this?
Octavian would probably turn to the person he knows the best that's closest to him, and being Yum, I guess, would say, am I not hearing something? Are we missing out on something?
And that's ironic because Yum is the only other person who succeeded the save and is also not got any idea what the fuck is going on. Yum. You seem to be mute. Sorry.
Best to my knowledge, I think they're friendly, but I don't know.
Have we
Something
learned anything from here to be friendly?
they're not attacking.
He's got his head bowed towards you and he's just showering you in green musk.
Yeah, the way that everyone's reacting, I don't like it.
As you say that, Stool turns around and, "It's okay, mushroom friends. They talk into mind. Some people know here. Maybe you know here. But it's okay. Come, my friends." And he looks over and attempts to take the hands of Yum and Octavian and lead them in.
I'll let Yum take my hand and lead me, but Octavian is going to let Stool take Octavian's hand and lead him. But Octavian is going to turn to Yum and say, I fear that a trap lays in an offer of friendship. So please do not go into this exchange with a unkeen mind.
Yeah, be ready.
Sky, having received this invitation and seeing that Zoroaster is headed in, I'm going to jump back to where we last left off. It was you, it was not me. He asked you if you wish to come in and be at ease and rest.
Yeah, then I asked if he knew where the lake was, and they said they didn't. So like at that, Sky kind of like lets out a sigh, but kind of controls his annoyance that they are letting us stay here. And
as you do so, there's a slight shimmering in the image, and you discern that they're communicating with you psionically with their spores, and actually that you're hearing a different conversation to everybody else, like to each individual person. You are able to work out the methodology, if you like, being that you're attuned to unusual psionic powers. And just as you're looking at this myconid face, there's a shimmer, and for a moment it is a dark being with many eyes staring out from behind the mushroom face, and then it's gone. It's just the myconid face again.
Is it this guy that I'm speaking to?
You see a relatively humanoid face at the center of a mushroom-like stalk.
I'm just saying, is it that one? That creature?
It's a little similar, though what you see in your mind is definitely an isolated image from what you had seen when you walked in.
No. I just mean like where it is. Is that guy standing there, right?
You're not seeing reality. You're not seeing reality, right? So what you're seeing is like he's just in front of you and he's leading you in. He's close to you, but if you look to your right and left, your companions are all behind you, and every one of you will see that.
Okay, then I'd like walk past him to, like kind of thinking he's real, would like brush past him to try and see what that was, and then not seeing anything.
As you reach past, indeed, you see nothing, and you feel a little bit of a shiver down your spine, as if perhaps you imagined it. carry
I think I'll just like rub like each like the side of my temples with my hand and try and like not think about it. I'm like very like bothered by what I just saw.
on.
If anyone like is watching this, but trying to like keep it at bay.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys are, I think mostly is anybody refusing to move up.
Octavian, I don't know where Stool was leading Yum and Octavian specifically, but if Stool ever brought Octavian past Garrick, Octavian would probably resist going further with Garrick behind him.
Great. So no, you will see, you two are at the back.
Okay.
You, Yum, and Stool are at the back behind everybody, as they all moved on in their visions. And after a little while, a large mushroom steps into your way. Sorry, I'm just gonna do that. All of you, and sort of makes a deep bow, and then rumbling out in the undercommon tongue. So, again, everybody but Octavian understanding. He's sort of in very broken language. You can see it's difficult for him to form words. We understand that some of you cannot hear us in our speech. Please come in and be at ease. He who calls him Stool has paid for your rest.
Thank you for accommodating.
It is
And that was
just a
set
trade.
out. That was said out loud, right? That wasn't.
It was, yes, but you were the only person that didn't understand it because you don't
Yeah.
speak Undercommon.
Of course, yes.
Mm-hmm. There are a couple of words that maybe you pick up, having learned.
I'll
a bit.
translate for Octavian.
Yeah, cool. And yeah, if you will.
I'm curious what the mushroom currency is now.
Yeah, me too. Trust they pay each other.
Your friend
believe-
has shared memories for half a cycle.
Oh.
So they have a hive mind, so anything contributed is contributed to the hive mind, so they've gained knowledge.
That is fucking amazing that you just said that.
Cool.
But for when I meet the king. Anyways.
Well, come on in. You'll meet the king pretty soon. He's chilling down here. You can all move in freely. And
I don't want to overstep because I think Yum was gonna do something before me.
okay. Yum, you gooch?
No, it's fine. I was just going to ask Stool.
What were you going to ask him?
What's he paid with?
Oh, right, and then and then I told you. Right, okay, cool, great. So yeah, as you get in here, it's a little bit macabre, but there is a mushroom that seems not to be sentient in front of the sovereign, and they are using it as a table, because that's what they've got in here. And upon the mushroom table are cuts of some sort of meat. Zoroaster and Sky, you've been here the longest. If the two of you would like to make a nature check for me, please.
19 when I least needed it.
Okay.
11.
It's Rothe. You've been fed this once or twice when the drow were trying to build your strength back up.
Which is good food.
Well, it's not very tasty, but it's good for you. That's for certain.
So we're ahead of this poor king.
Yes, the king stands with the table in front of him, and he is welcoming you in, and he nods to you.
Good sir, thank you for allowing us to stay at your home. It is indeed very beautiful. If I may give you a gift, and I'll extend my hand towards him.
there's a moment of sort of delay, and that mushroom, as before, the bigger mushroom, not as big as the sovereign, but one of the taller mushrooms, sort of leans down. Then he leans into the king, and the king sort of lets out some spores, which he absorbs. Then he looks to you. The young one translates. The king will accept your gift.
So I'm going to try and give him one of my memories to add on to his knowledge. For free!
Except, how are you transmitting your memories out loud? You don't have any spores to inject into him.
I guess I would just tell him.
Oh, lovely. If
As,
you will... Yeah.
as is my people's tradition to pass stories through word of mouth, I think it's an even more beautiful gift to give to him.
It starts off with the large mushroom listening and attempting to transmit the constantly transmit the words into the sovereign, but it soon becomes apparent that Stool has a far better grasp of the language, and he will instead pass your story on. And then Stool turns to you and, King says whole cycle. He's like hours. He doesn't actually know how long a cycle is, but they would sleep once in a cycle, the Myconids. So you're assumably... You can think of it as like a little less than a day, basically. And Stool says, come, first we sleep. Well, we eat, then we sleep, then we talk.
Well, I wanted to ask the king, because on this passing of memories, I actually wanted to focus on what Stu went through. And I wanted to ask the king for two things.
Yeah.
One, for him to give Stu a knighthood. Hashtag give Stu a knighthood. Or whatever Myconoid equivalent it is for a mushroom, like some sort of title, because he deserves
when you
it.
say this, he looks at...
You know, he's an
Stool
escaped
is
slave.
not of our tribe.
Then my follow-up question is, where may I find Stu's tribe?
We do not leave the grove.
Could you please use your hive? Oh?
One came to us a long time ago. Many thousands of cycles. And he had traveled from another grove like ours. Far away. He traveled by water. This is known. But that's all he's got for you, I'm afraid.
It's a start. That's all I want to do.
There are many other... there is a word for not sentient, but I'm just going to call it not sentient. Mushrooms about that are still. And these make adequate beds for many of the companions. But in this moment, Eldeth leans over to Yum and to Zoroaster and says, I don't suppose we want to be waking up Valor and seeing whether we can do something for our wounds. Might be the time.
Yeah. I was thinking that. See if we can help her pain before she comes to.
Aye.
Are you a healer,
N- not by expertise, but I know my way around a few toxins, if you know what I mean.
I'm not quite that smart, so I did not understand the metaphor there, but if you do need some help.
She's been poisoned originally, you did know that. Garrick
No.
would also...
I'm just not really that smart.
Oh.
He probably did not understand that metaphor at all.
Garrick, you also have some understanding of injuries and wounds. Whatever it is, it seems to be internal. The small lashes and lacerations upon her legs are long since healed. And there is no active poison within her veins. But she is still feeling the pain of the spasms. apart from long rest. Lots of. You're unsure exactly what might help quell her. But
We
as you're
we can
sorry, go on, yeah.
we can ask the Grove if they have any herbalistic remedies that could help.
We can help grow mushroom better. But this not mushroom. And as you guys are inspecting her, she does slowly come to. She doesn't scream. Instead, she... Is this death?
You wish.
Yeah. We've escaped. Have we?
No. We have. Who are you?
You say, who are you?
How are you?
Oh, sorry. I can't feel my legs. And then she looks up and she sees the really big mushroom and... What happened to Stu?
He's right there.
I just kind of
Still boings
Good.
over and... I'm okay. You're not okay.
Very true. You should be more concerned for yourself.
Oh, I'll be alright. I think. In time. Maybe.
Can you even stand?
Maybe. She makes no effort to do so.
I will pull her off of Zara's shoulder.
Oh no, she's lying on the floor at the moment, but you can pull her up to her feet.
Oh, I'll pull her up, yeah.
Okay. She sort of sways a little bit. Oh. And then she just sort of topples over to the side.
Hold.
And then she sort of puts her hands out and... Where are the chains?
Broke them.
No. I want the chains.
Why is that?
They
Go ahead.
keep me here. Go ahead and give me an insight check. Sky, you may give me an insight check with advantage.
Just Sky then.
Yeah,
I got
just-
22.
Great. Yeah, this is... You've seen this happen to people before. Down here, the Fezres can create different forms of madness in different people. She's definitely a little insane, we knew that. But she's developed an irrational attachment to her chains, her manacles. You do have enough manacles to put them back on her if you wish. She only had, if you remember, chains from her wrists to her legs. And she doesn't seem to have any magic of any use that they were preventing. No, they did also chain between her feet, but yes, like that. Will you let her rechain herself?
I'd let her kill herself, honestly, so it's really up to the party.
Please. It keeps me inside. Yeah. Keeps me safe.
You need it for anything. What safety could these hold?
Please. Take them away.
Go ahead.
Did she say take them away?
Take them away. And to what she refers, you're not entirely sure, but you may be able to make some connections here with a 22 on the insight check. One of the things that the Manacles did was subdue all magic. She did mention that she was once a grave cleric. Perhaps her magic is acting in a way that is irrational and allowing her to see or hear more of the dead than she should be able to. If she shackles herself back up, she'll be quite content and she'll shut up and go to sleep. Which is nice.
Let's get those shackles on then.
Oh, right, sorry, I thought you had agreed to shackle her back up. Yes, I wasn't telling you what would happen, I was telling you, once it was done. You hear some murmurs from the top of the room. Sareth and Nemea kept their distance. Sorry, they're probably up here somewhere. Sareth and Nemea kept their distance. But you see Sareth is sort of lending her aid to her wounds, but not in a drastic manner. He's just helping her secure the knots that are tying the leg wounds up. He takes a look at them and he sort of... Oh, how utterly foul. Well,
Being amateur.
sorry, again, I didn't get that.
What are you doing, amateur? She needs real proper care. Bring her here.
Well, does she deserve it? She got herself in this predicament.
I don't care whether she deserves it or not. As long as she's useful, she'll be alive.
He tumbles her onto the floor in front of you. Sorry.
Can Octavian speak up?
Yeah.
Or how far?
Yeah, of course you can. You're literally right next to Garrick.
Yeah. I don't think that she's deserved this fate. If anything, she gave us the opportunity to get where we are now.
And in that, she was excellently useful. But that task is fulfilled.
It's certainly a lot more than you've done.
That's a perspective.
Oh, also, Octavian was trying to keep an eye on Seraph throughout this, as I mentioned previously. Anything of note?
He's held Nemea somewhat gently throughout. He's also kept an eye on your back constantly. He's always had his eye behind.
Who did Yum snap at and said
Sareth. This is Sareth, who, by the way, assassinated the drow priestess who was in charge of chasing after you. That's what he did for you, but you weren't there,
I'm gonna look over at Yum. I'm gonna look over at Yum, and I'm just gonna raise my fist like this.
For a little fist bump.
Fist bump.
Yeah, but Darth, what you missed last episode is that Sareth slept with and assassinated the priestess who was in charge of chasing you guys down. Stuck a dagger right at him, and everybody still despises him. So you carry on.
I'll just say Octavian's been looking to see if Seraph is trying to consume any of the mushrooms. But if that ever happens, Octavian is trying to watch him. For that specifically.
But he will tumble the mayor down in front of you. Go ahead and make a medicine check, Garrick.
She's going to die, you know.
Yes, I would agree. That is quite likely.
Hope I don't fuck up.
If you're willing to let her die now, then why did you save her in the first place, or attempt to?
I didn't. I think we should have left her.
I think he was asking Sareth, right?
Oh, sorry.
Sareth looks at you and because, like Garrick said, she may be useful. She is a spellcaster of sorts, and even I am not completely cold-hearted. The torture she may have experienced being stuck knee-deep in rock. At least this way she can just die. Garrick, she may yet live, but it is going to be a long, slow process through which she will need to be carried, tended to. She may not be conscious very much within the next few days. Even when she is conscious, not only is she insane, but she's also going to be in agony. As you make this diagnosis, what do you choose to tell everybody else?
Okay, so keeping her alive would essentially just take a super long time, hard process essentially. And a lot of resources.
You're alive. Need some effort. It's possible.
Sareth looks up. Does anybody think it's worth it?
I don't see how this is a debate.
Well, she's going to be a drain on our energy and effort, is she not? Sorry, Sky, what were you saying?
I was just asking what was the effort.
Well, she's barely alive, right? She needs her dressings changed. Needs carrying, which Sareth doesn't seem particularly enthused to be doing. She's contributing nothing. She's eating food. She's drinking water, probably more water than everybody else because she's injured.
Yeah, I think we should leave her here.
Well, even I wouldn't do that, but I'm quite happy to put an end to her if that's necessary. Mercifully.
You wouldn't have gone through all the trouble just to end it like that.
I thought she was going to have a better chance of surviving and be more useful, but she's just a dead weight to us. Does anybody think she could still contribute?
I do.
Seconded.
Do you think she could still contribute?
I don't.
What are we doing here? We're voting to decide whether someone lives or dies? I understand that we had to go through some pretty messed up stuff before, but we're not in that situation right now.
No, you're right. We're in a situation where every minute of survival is a challenge.
Okay,
Don't be fooled by this moment of rest we have here. We have what they said, but a cycle? The second we're out of here, we're gonna be faced with more trials that we just came from a fight that we were almost certain to lose.
And if I didn't have her with me, I would have been able to fight at your side.
Oh, don't be making excuses.
I don't like the idea of killing her as much as anyone, but we also need to think about the practicality of the situation. Keeping her alive for a short period of time might be the decision that results in multiple deaths further down the line.
So you all agree that once one of you becomes an inconvenience, we may just kill you?
Certainly
I.
Sareth raises his hand. If I am slowing you down, then you leave me behind.
Sareth, your opinion literally doesn't matter. You were a slaver and a torturer up until like a week ago.
And
Okay.
walk?
Okay,
It's just a ritual.
everyone, just calm down.
I'm very calm. I just
We've
don't
got-
like torturers.
We've got a chance to rest. It's been a long day. Let us get our rest and then come back to this when we're all being rational.
Okay.
Agreed?
One more suggestion before, just Garrick. I know we've talked about the concept of fire before, not being that great an idea. I do have this tinderbox. I don't know if cauterizing the wounds is still an option or possible or helpful.
It would kill her.
Or
Garrick, you know.
okay, yeah, never mind then.
And just, with your medicine check of 22, you'd know that any further damage to her is the end.
Can I just lay on hands, sir?
You could if you wanted to, but it's not going to do anything worth mentioning. What she needs is long, slow care, and she's certainly not going to regrow any legs. Yes.
Can I just Ray of Frost her?
If you want.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Can I lay on hands over a couple of days?
We could at least try to repair the skin along the stump.
Yeah, in your mind,
might
Bruno,
slow
what
the
exactly are
bleeding.
you trying to achieve with Lay on Hands? I mean, obviously you're trying to make her better, I get that, but in what sense? She's lost her legs from the knee upwards. They've been cut off savagely with acid going into the wound. They look infected and gangrenous.
I thought this was Vela.
No! It's Nemea, the crazy bitch.
Dimension door?
Yeah, Dimension
Yeah,
Door.
who
is-
Dimension
No,
Door
I
herself into a
remember her.
rock. Yeah. Oh, he wouldn't be saying this about Vela. He thinks Nemea caused her own problems for herself and is going to be nothing but a burden and should just be put
Okay,
down like a bad animal.
I'll retcon a few little things here. I wouldn't. So Rasta wouldn't be so adamant for Nemea as he is for Vela,
Nope.
because obviously Vela has connections and stuff with the party. But he would still be very much clear on we shouldn't be deciding whether or not killing this person. Sort of deal.
Well, if the decision is to wait till morning, then the Myconids will watch over. You may all take a long rest.
I will lay on hands, sir, and throw in a cure wounds
Okay.
obviously before the long rest.
Yeah, it's sort of, you fight back a bit of the gangrene. Zarasta and Sky, the two of you who take reverie as opposed to sleep, give me a perception check while you're in reverie. Actually, Zarasta, before you do that, give me a wisdom save. See whether you do have reverie or whether tonight you are having nightmares.
I rolled a 12. Oh, an 11.
Your dreams distract you, Sky.
I actually don't do that. I sleep.
You sleep, yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Okay, cool. So just Zarasta, what was your perception check?
Oh, are we given the choice? Because, like, if I could just sleep, I would.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're an elf, right? So traditionally you would reverie. If you think that instead you would sleep and you need it for 8 hours, like everybody else, as opposed to
I have no
being an
reason
elf.
to be awake. There's nothing.
No, but I mean, elves don't sleep, right? Traditionally, unless you think that your race, like Josh, is
They don't need to sleep, but they can.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I have nothing to do, so I'm just gonna sleep.
Okay.
Pretty boring down here.
In that case, Garrick, as you turn during the night, you wake, and you see Topsy stood near Nemea with a dagger in his hand. He seems to be debating, and he speaks quietly. You are a friend to me. If I was you, I would wish myself dead. Should I do it? Is it bad? Is it bad? Should I do it? I probably shouldn't do it, but it would save everybody the decision. It would be good for us. Surely.
Waiting with yourself, I see.
Oh, yes, I was just wondering whether perhaps if we cut off a little bit of the harmed flesh, we might help her. Little.
Garrett kind of
You
walked
know
up.
instantly that he's lying with your passive insight. He was going to kill her. He was thinking about killing her at least. As you walk up, do you say anything?
I'll just kind of look to her. I assume she's sleeping.
Tormented
And-
and sleeping, yes.
And then. Okay. And then I'll look to him.
Thoughts. Or rather, we will not come to a quick judgment like the rest of us.
He'd have better, but surely it can't be all that easy, can it? Can it not? And then, smiling, sitting right next to her, never asleep because he takes reverie because he's a drow. Sareth looks up and at Topsy. For a second there, I thought you were going to make a decision. I was almost impressed. And he puts his hand out for the dagger. Sareth takes the dagger from Topsy,
I hate this guy.
smiles at Garrick, and hands it to him.
Oh!
Okay.
I'm gonna mute myself.
You
I'll
should.
take the dagger.
Mhm.
And what do you expect me to do with this, then?
Whatever you think I'm right is right, I'm sure.
As I'll just kind of, as I'm walking back to where I was sleeping beforehand, I'll just kind of put it in my backpack, not saying a single word. Just go back to sleep.
You hear a little voice in your mind. It's like a whisper. But you know that it belongs to Nemea. She just says, "Thank you." And that's where we end. Garrick!
I got a 7 on my wisdom check.
What wisdom check, sorry?
You told me to do a wisdom check or save for the nightmares.
To see if you were having nightmares that would distract you from noticing in your reverie that stuff was going on, but then you weren't reverie, so it didn't matter. Cool. Yeah, that is where we will end, and we will move on to the timeless tradition of MVPs. Allow me to just change the music. Who did we come to last? Josh. Your MVP, please.
Mine is that, I mean, essentially, the hope is that we leave this place and go home. And Stool's like, I know where my home is. And Zora's like, oh, we can visit. You're not staying there, though. Luckily,
Yes, I chose to
Oh, yeah.
slightly move past that, but yes, very much so. I love that moment. James.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea what I want to single out. I guess can I give it to the? I talked about this on break a bit, but can I give it to the way that the combat interaction ended
100%.
in terms of how that tutorial played out? I think it was an excellent way to teach the players of what we're doing, and I think it was an interesting way to have the players kind of, get used to the world and how we can kind of progress through it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought that it was very well intuited by some of you as well. Darth.
I have to agree with James on that. The combat was just a real eye-opener, I'm going to say.
Yes, I know that a lot of people who come from other games aren't always expecting combat to be quite so threatening. A lot of combats are carefully designed so the players can achieve it and get past it nice and easily, and I don't do that shit. I find that boring. Like, why do we want to do 8 easy fights? Again.
First up, just as the others, I enjoy the tutorial thing. Very nice, very engaging. When I first saw and see how one of those little guys took like both my bite and claw, I was like, oh shit, these guys are tough. And then there was a whole lot more coming this way. Like, oh, I don't want to stay here. But also, secondly, I enjoyed Zoroaster and Sky's interaction beginning when I believe it was Zoroaster that screamed or something into that. I liked the interaction of that. That was cool. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Bruno.
Yeah, so I quite enjoyed the fact that Garrick did not kill Homegirl. It was very nice to see that. Yes, we have another NPC alive. That was fun. And then it made me smile. Not gonna lie, I'm so glad that wasn't me and that I went to sleep. Because to be honest with you, I don't know what I would have done. I would have been like, I want to keep her alive, but half the party said she should die. So I'm glad that you were left to that responsibility. I got me. And a second MVP, I love how different Sky is from Zoroaster. It's like we disagree on every single thing, and I love it.
Yeah, it's great. I enjoy it too. Yeah, I'm very pleased with how well you guys did during the combat. It was a very tough combat. It could easily have resulted in some of you dying, but you all played very tactically sensibly. So when we get to the combats that are only combat, there's never only a combat, you can always run away, right? But the combats where you do fight to the death, I think you'll do well. It's also nice to see that you are willing to run away. Many players would have just stayed and fought because they believe they can win everything, and that would have been very painful death. But I've got 2 MVPs. My first is to Darth and Bruno. The first people to receive a short-term madness effect. The paralysis and the scream. I think you played through that really, really well, so thank you for that. You weren't just like, oh, my character wouldn't do that. It's just a dice roll, right? So we never know how you're going to react to dark and scary moments, so I really appreciated you playing through that. And A-Game, I thought you were going to kill her. I'm kind of pissed, but kind of really glad. Yeah, I really enjoyed
laughter
that.
for good deeds.
However, that is where we're going to end. If you guys want to grab your oh, it doesn't work. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. Ignore that. If you guys want to give some love, we're going to Blue Box RPG. Give us some love. If you guys want to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So long, have a wonderful time.
Did you even just say?
It's the meme from is it Family?
American Dad. I thought you said American Bad. I was like, that's like 3 shows at once.